Hi everyone and welcome back to Saturn Secrets. Today we're discussing the solar eclipse new moon in Gemini and what it means for your zodiac sign. Hi everybody, thanks for joining me. Today we are discussing the solar eclipse new moon in Gemini. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for regular updates. So this new moon in Gemini is happening on the 10th of June and it is at 19 degrees of Gemini. So if you have 19 degrees of Gemini or Sagittarius in your chart, you may be mostly affected by this particular new moon solar eclipse. And this video will describe where the solar eclipse is falling in your chart based on your rising sign. You can look at your sun and rising for the most accurate results. But first I'm going to do a little bit of a summary on what this new moon in Gemini solar eclipse actually means. So a new moon is a new beginning presented to us every month. It is a time to set our intentions, it is a time to plant seeds, and it is a time to come up with new ideas and figure out what it is that we want to nourish, what it is that we want to grow, particularly in terms of our thoughts. We set intentions around new moons. Now this new moon is falling in Gemini, which is the sign associated with our thoughts and a lot of mental activity, mental awareness with the Gemini energy. And it's going to be conjunct Mercury, which is Gemini's ruler, in retrograde. So there's a very intense energy to this. It is Gemini in nature. It gives us a chance to begin again in terms of how we articulate ourselves, how we begin, experience, close conversations in our lives. And with this new moon, it's a beautiful new beginning to learn a new language. Learn a new language. You can see Mercury retrograde coming through already. Learn a new language, start a book, start a journal, start a conversation with somebody, something important around this time. There's likely to be important conversations generated in our life in general, and there's likely to be important conversations in the news, in the newspapers, through journalism, through social media, and it's all part of a broader conversation in terms of society as a whole, because it is going to be trining Saturn in Aquarius. Saturn is doing a long stint in Aquarius to restructure, redefine, by restriction and by lesson, of course, what it is that we are as a society, how we interact with our fellow human beings. And it is an important conversation that is in the background for the next couple of years. But thanks to the solar eclipse, it's bringing the energy up somewhat, albeit this is a very Gemini-focused eclipse. So for everyone around this time, it's important to set new intentions based on your mindset. You know, I talked about in the June All Signs video about the astrology of June 2021 and how Gemini season is an important moment to reevaluate what our preconceptions of the world actually are. There's that quote by Tagore that said, "We read the world wrong and then say that it deceives us." And there is an era of deception around this new moon because of Neptune. But a lot of the time, true deception occurs when we don't trust our intuition. So whenever there's a friction between Gemini and Pisces energy, you can bet there's little tug of wars going on within our heads and our hearts, and how we process our thoughts in line with how we process our intuition. Now at this time, it's very likely for a lot of people, based on the Mercury retrograde, based on the Gemini energy, and based on Neptune and Pisces, that a lot of people can confuse their anxiety with intuition. One of the best ways to be in touch with your intuition is to cut out the noisy stuff. This is likely to be a very noisy time, and with Mercury in retrograde in Gemini, a social media detox is no bad thing. Going off Twitter, going off Facebook, going off anything that just makes you feel overstimulated, over-processed. Too much information can really detach us from our intuition, especially if you're dealing with things and stories that make you feel very nervous, that aren't necessarily to do with your immediate surroundings. There are a lot of studies that suggest that people can have second-hand trauma from things they see on television, things they read about. That's the sort of thing that can really make you feel very anxious. And you can confuse that with your intuition. And intuition is a calm moment, an inner voice of calm, of certainty and clarity. And it's not really a new moon of clarity thanks to Mercury retrograde in Gemini and thanks to Neptune, but it is a new beginning nonetheless. And it's a new beginning with Saturn that has elements and tones of longevity, structure, higher wisdom, learning, and also beginning something new from a place of wisdom. Eclipses are kind of over dramatized at the moment. There's this sense that everything is going to crumble, everything is going to change. And a lot of people can find when an eclipse rolls around that no, there's not really anything specifically happens to them. Sometimes it is, depending on if this is hitting an actual degree point planet in your chart. But for the most part, this is background noise of the year, depending on the house that it falls in your chart. Eclipses don't actually have to be drastic, and when it's falling in a sign like Gemini, it's a wonderful new beginning for you, a wonderful moment to decide for yourself, how do I want to think going forward? Am I thinking based on what I've been taught? Am I thinking with my own true voice? Is this narrative in my head actually mine, or is this something? Is this another outside source? Is this an anxious voice? Is this an authoritarian voice? Is this a voice I don't like? Is this a voice that's making me very unhappy? With Gemini, you can see the duality, and if you feel that the consistent voice in your head is not a nice one, there is another twin to talk to. Gemini is the twins as a symbol. We have the mortal and we have the immortal. And the immortal is the connection with the divine, connection with the universe, and the mortal is what we can experience right here, right now. And so with Neptune and Pisces, and Mercury in Gemini, the Sun, the Moon in Gemini, having this friction, you don't have to believe everything you read, everything you hear, and you can question and challenge those narratives, question those voices, question those feelings, and see if it's coming from a place of intuition and wisdom, or if it's coming from a place of anxiety. So I would, around this time, it's a very busy time, there's likely going to be more posting, more traffic, more information out there. If you can find yourself in a quiet spot to set those intentions, do it from a mindset that you're comfortable with, the mindset that you want to have for the next 6 months, that you want to have in order to create something solid for yourself. Because with Saturn in your corner with this new moon, it is likely that you could generate a new beginning that is based in wisdom and based in your own personal truth. Maybe that means reevaluating an internal voice that has actually been lying to you and telling you something that is not quite the case, telling you that you're not enough in this social group, that you're not enough in your job, that you're not enough in relationships, or whatever it is that is this the evil twin, shall I say, giving you this information or feeding you this information at the time. Do question where your information comes from. This is a time where people might have more important conversations in life that are part of your destiny as a whole. Now, I will get into that with the individual zodiac signs. But this is a time to speak. It is a time to speak with wisdom, with your own personal truth, but also this grain of salt that maybe you could be a little confused at this time, and that's okay. We don't always have to have all the answers. A lot of the time when we're setting intentions, we can go into this mode of analysis paralysis, where we feel, I think I want this, but do I really want this? Or what if it does this? Or what if this happens then? Or what if I'm not meant to have this? Or what if I'm meant to have that instead, but I don't really want this instead? And what if there can be this complete analysis paralysis when we're looking towards what it is that we really want. So with Gemini energy, there can be trouble pinning down a feeling. Geminis are more comfortable talking about feelings, understanding feelings from a bit of an objective viewpoint. Same with Aquarius, and with Neptune in the corner is just saying, just let me feel, let me dissipate, let me just explore everything with my feelers. There's that energy with Neptune and Pisces, so it's confusing for the Gemini energy that's in the sky right now. But if you focus on what it is that you want to feel, even if you feel a little bit objective about it, if you're setting an intention, focus on what the feeling would be. Don't go into this analysis paralysis where you start questioning every little detail, because you will not have them at this moment. You're going to have a collective faith that the universe will fill in the blanks for you, and that with Gemini energy, at any time you can adapt, at any time you can change. There's a fluidity with this new moon solar eclipse that is to be explored rather than feared, as it were. The connection to the North Node in Gemini means that this new moon is a turning point in terms of your destiny. Some of that we can control, some of it we can't. If you choose the most appropriate mindset, the best mindset you can go into this new moon solar eclipse with, that would be great for you in the long run. And because of its link to Saturn, as I say, there is this sense of longevity and wisdom attached to it. But with Neptune, we just don't have all the answers yet, and that is okay. We don't need them. We have made it thus far without all the answers. And there is this collective waking up, I know that everyone keeps talking about in these videos, but that is a lot of pressure and on an unusual timeline for people, I think, whenever you start committing to this huger idea. Rather than just trusting the process and being in the moment. See, Gemini energy is in the moment. Aquarius energy is in the future. So choosing what's best for you in the moment is typically good for your future. There's an essential component here where yes, we can have our eye on the future and what this means for society. You want to focus on what the words that you're putting out are, especially in social media. I can see sometimes people with, I suppose when you follow the law of attraction mindset and you see people talking about so much, they put it online, so much what makes them miserable and what they don't want, and things like that, rather than focusing on the future they want to create for themselves, they can find themselves just living in this repetitive loop and feeling stuck. Whereas with Saturn and Aquarius, there is, and Gemini being about the future, there is a sense with this new moon that you are creating your future right now. So there's that experience of, Neville Goddard acting as if, figuring out what it is that you want in your future by living it in your current situation. It's likely that with this new moon, I have to say, it's very likely that what you want could manifest incredibly quickly in your life. So bear that in mind. The true node is in conversation here, and you want to be shaping a destiny, a path for yourself, a future for yourself that feels positive and feels honest for you. So I'm going to get into an animal spirit card just before we jump into the signs. Thank you for joining me here and listening. If you've listened to this beginning part, let's have a little look at the animal spirit deck. Okay, so let's get into the animal spirit deck and see what the animal spirit message is for this new moon solar eclipse in Gemini. And see what we get. The wheel again. We had this for the June 2021 energy. So the wheel we were discussing, it's all about wisdom. It's all about trusting the path, trusting the process, knowing that you have navigated tough waters before and you've gained wisdom, you've gained emotional maturity from this experience, and that you are a more you're a bigger fish in the pond than you think. Your actions, your words, all of it has power, not just for your own life, but it has the power to influence outside of you. We're more aware more than ever, I think, about the idea of influencers. And it's not always about shopping. It's not always about buying things or selling products. It can be about how we find information and how we experience new parts of our lives, or we see other people doing things and think, I want to do that. It's not a bad thing sometimes to have influence in our lives, because we can go through life very unaware of the things that we could be doing until we know about them. And so at this time, you've been through very dark waters whenever the wheel card comes up. And of course, 2020 was quite a dark time. This to me is like coming to the surface for air, as the wheel does, to let off some steam here. Coming up for air, taking a breather, taking a moment to bask in the sunshine and feeling a different element. We have a lot of mix going on this month with the water and the air energies. Venus is in Cancer now, Mars is in Cancer, and it's moving into Leo. But we're then going to have Cancer season, and we're going to have the Gemini energy. So the water, the air element is mixing in a way that is quite specific with the wheel, coming up from your emotions for air, a chance to think, a chance to let some stuff go, a chance to process a few things, and a chance to gain a little bit of understanding about where you've been, trying a different view, trying a different perspective. It kind of reminds me of the Hanged Man in the tarot, where you have this different perspective. You look at things from a different angle, and when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So let's get into the zodiac signs. Timestamps will be listed in the description box. I hope you have a beautiful new moon solar eclipse, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Aries, and welcome to your segment on the new moon solar eclipse in Gemini. Aries, this is a beautiful new beginning for you in terms of your mindset, the way that you think, the way that you communicate, the way that you listen, social activity, communication. This could likely be a very busy time for you. It could be a very busy week for you around the solar eclipse. It could be a time when you are expressing yourself more and considering how you put your thoughts forward. Are you articulating yourself? Are you saying what you think? Are you maybe holding back because you don't think your words will matter? How powerful do you feel in your own words, particularly in terms of a group setting, in terms of a societal setting, maybe in your neighborhood, maybe in your friendship group, maybe in your team? You might have to, without warrant, without wanting to even, you might have to put yourself forward in a group dynamic, maybe taking on a leadership role, or at least speaking up on behalf of a team, speaking up on behalf of a charity, speaking up in your friendship group, taking the initiative, expressing what's on your mind. You might have an option or a chance to do so around this time. This is a beautiful time for you to communicate about your feelings as well. We have the Page of Cups, and this is a scary thing for you to do because Neptune is in your 12th house. You're a little bit concerned with being vulnerable and expressing yourself. This is a really important time for you, Aries, to speak your mind, and it's likely around this time you could have very supportive friends, you could have very supportive colleagues, very supportive siblings. Could be anybody in your life is offering you love and support at this time when you need to talk about something or get something off your chest. It's important that you can express yourself around this solar eclipse, and that for the next 6 months, Aries, you consider how much you do actually verbalize your feelings, verbalize your intentions, speak about the things you want to speak about. Maybe this is a time for you to start a podcast or start a book or start a blog, something that you can really use as a platform for you to get comfortable speaking. I know whenever I started YouTube astrology stuff and tarot stuff, I remember I just didn't feel comfortable speaking in front of a camera, and now it's kind of second nature, to be honest. You know, it's the same with anybody that does public speaking, or you have this barrier up with you. It might be a psychological subconscious barrier with Neptune in the mix. You might not want to express yourself because you're worried about being misunderstood. Well, guess what, Aries? We all get misunderstood at some point, but if you keep an open dialogue and an open conversation, and you are thoughtful about who you choose to express yourself to, it can actually be something that pulls you a lot closer to the people in your life, because with this Page of Cups, there is an essence of love, support, kindness, and pages are messengers, so it's likely that you could be receiving messages of love around this time from the people around you, or maybe you want to express your feelings to somebody in your life, or maybe you are finding that someone else is expressing their feelings to you. So that's what I have for you for this solar eclipse, Aries. Don't be afraid to speak from the heart. Don't be afraid to speak what is on your mind, and keep those conversations, keep that dialogue open. Hi Taurus, so this is your segment on the Gemini new moon solar eclipse. Taurus, this new moon for you is a lot to do with your money, to do with your value, your income, the habits that you have, and in some cases the work that you do. And with this solar eclipse, this is a new beginning for you in terms of money. This is an important time to set new intentions on what makes you feel stable, what makes you feel secure. It's not really a big time for luxury purchases or anything that's going to make you feel financially unstable, because eclipses themselves, as much as this is a positive one, I have to say, they can feel quite destabilizing at times. So maybe around this time, decide to set yourself up a saving plan. You don't have to do anything official, you can just jot it down on paper, but decide how much money you want to put aside each month. Maybe you can start working on a side hustle, maybe you can start a separate source of income or something like this. It will just give you security. This isn't to say you have to do any of these things. In fact, for you Taurus, it could be that you are actually committing to something to do with your confidence, to commit to a confidence workshop, or learning how to have certain social skills. You can see videos of it online. You know, this might be a time when you decide, you know what, I want to see my value, I want to see my worth. Or maybe you're deciding, I would like to be monetized for my worth, I would like to have a pay rise, I would like to have something like that. So set that intention, Taurus, and just let it flow to you. Because of the trine to Saturn, I have to say it's very likely, Taurus, that in the next 6 months there will be positive energies surrounding your money and your career, your social status and your wealth. There feels like there is a harmony here, meaning that you might get a pay rise in your job. You might take on a new skill or a new hobby that is fruitful for you. It might bring you more money. It might bring more money into your life. When there's a solar eclipse that's a new moon solar eclipse in your sector of wealth and money and income, it's very likely that you could be experiencing positive changes in this area. But as I say, depending on how secure you feel, it's important to just figure out what would feel best for you in the next 6 months in terms of your money, your worth and your value, and also figure out what means the most to you in general, Taurus. We have the Ace of Wands here, which means around this time you could find that you're engaging in something that really makes you feel excited. So a new hobby, a new connection, there's a spark of some kind with you here, Taurus, and this is very likely to do with money or career or a long-term goal. It might be that you have a hobby that you've wanted to do for a while, and then in the next 6 months you might notice you've more money to invest and do this hobby, or you've more time to invest in this creative endeavor, or you've more time for this relationship or this connection, or you're just feeling kind of a spark of confidence come back to you that maybe has felt a little bit jarring before, because you are reassessing at the moment, Taurus, what value is for you and what matters the most. And I feel for you with the Ace of Wands that there's a very positive new beginning in your life here, something that feels fun, something that feels lighthearted, like a spark. And if it's second house and 10th house related, Taurus, it's very likely that you're going to be feeling quite secure about it too. So there could be a new connection, a new passion, or it could be likely that your hobbies, the things that you love to do, are bringing you in more money or just bringing you in more confidence. So that's what I have for you, Taurus. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Gemini, welcome to the new moon solar eclipse in your sign. So Gemini, this is a fantastic new change for you. The more that this solar eclipse is connected to the Gemini sun you have, or the Gemini rising you have, look up the degree of it and see how far it is away from 19 degrees. The closer it is, the more intense you're going to feel with this energy. But this is a new beginning for you, Gemini, in so many ways, because whenever it's in your first house, it's like a rebirth. It's like being born again, a new version of yourself. You're kind of looking back at the past version of yourself and saying, who is she? You know, or who is he? Like, who was this person? Your image is changing, your personality is changing, your interests are changing, your perspectives are changing. And your perspectives are changing a little bit lower than, a little bit slower than the rest of you, because it's going to be in harmony with Saturn in Aquarius, and Aquarius being your 9th house of philosophy. What else do I have written down here? Travel, law, cross community, that sort of stuff. For some of you, you could be pursuing a new beginning that is based in law or higher learning. You could be beginning a new phase of learning, be it through university or college or higher study, learning a new skill. And this is conclusive with this new beginning that you're starting for yourself and your personality. It's likely that your outlook in life is changing in general, Gemini, and this is a fantastic new beginning for you to change your hairstyle or change your image, or just change up your identity, how you see yourself. Who do you want to be? Just step into it. It's likely that you're beginning a whole new phase. Maybe as someone who's married, maybe as someone who is employed in a certain profession, maybe you're becoming a doctor, something like this. There's a new beginning, a new identity for you, Gemini. Now we have the Death card. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. This is just to do with transformation. This is just you leaving the old you behind. The old Taylor can't come to the phone right now. Why? Because she's dead. Ha ha ha. You get that now. This is your energy now. You're literally becoming a new version of yourself and shedding this old skin. And that's not to say you're breaking up with yourself. You're just evolving. It's not about literally, you know, denouncing the person that you once were. It's just about stepping into the new you. And a lot of this is to do with your faith. A lot of it is to do with your philosophy, the way you see the world and the way you see yourself within the world. Maybe you're taking on a new life in a different country, a different culture. Maybe you are educating yourself in something that feels very much like, I wish I'd done this sooner. Whatever it is for you, Gemini, it's positive change. Enjoy it and happy birthday. Bye. Hi Cancer, welcome to the Solar Eclipse New Moon in Gemini segment for your sign. Cancer, this is happening in your 12th house and it is going to be in harmony with your 8th house, having a little bit of friction with your 9th house. But let's talk about the solar eclipse itself. So Cancer, this is to do with your inner world, your subconscious. It's very healing for you. It's likely around this time it would be beneficial, especially if you're Cancer rising, to begin some sort of healing process, some sort of therapeutic process, or maybe even something like psychological study or astrological study, or something that can give you this divine sense of, you know, purpose. Your life has purpose. Everything happens for a reason. This sort of divine connection and how connected you feel to the universe and how connected you feel to spirit. A lot of you could be discovering around this time you're more clairvoyant or clairsentient or psychic than usual. A lot of you could be feeling more emotional than usual because Mercury is retrograding through your 12th house. It's very common as an astrologer to see when someone is experiencing a Mercury retrograde transit in their 12th house or an eclipse in their 12th house. It's very common to see them go into therapy or go into some form of healing or some new spiritual study or something that gives them a sense of connection to the unseen, to the divine, because your senses are heightened. You're more aware that there are energies around you that you don't quite understand, but you would like to understand. And this is a beautiful time for healing of any capacity, Cancer, especially if you're feeling more emotional than usual at this time. You may have some emotions rise to the surface in order for you to transcend them, because the 12th house is about transcendence and its connection to Saturn going through your 8th house, which is astrological breakthroughs. Astrological, psychological breakthroughs, and astrological. I have to say, when Saturn goes through someone's 8th house, they become more aware of astrology. In fact, it's known whenever Saturn goes through someone's 8th house, I've noticed that it really beats them with a big stick and says, read up on your birth chart, even if they're not really a believer. It's quite funny. But the tarot card that I have for you is the Six of Swords. Now you are handling 12th house energy beautifully, probably because you're a water sign and you're ruled by the moon, but you navigate emotions with ease. You're ready to move on from something. You're ready to leave behind a chapter, leave behind a feeling, a way of leave behind a way of feeling, leave behind a way of living. You're moving forward with grace, and you're moving forward into a phase that's much calmer. Thankfully, for the next 2 months, you're not going to be feeling the eclipse energy so much. I know that in Sagittarius and Gemini, it's kind of taken you for a very wild ride, but now things are smoothing out, calming down, and you're going to be feeling a lot more at ease and a lot more at peace. But remember that healing is a process. It's not something that is just done overnight. Human beings are constantly healing. There's a regenerative nature to the human spirit and the human body that can be found in the 6th house, 12th house eclipses. So just keep going, just keep swimming. That is what I have for you, Cancer, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Leo, welcome to your new moon solar eclipse in Gemini segment. So Leo, this is happening in your 11th house of wish fulfillment. Yeah, this is a pretty nice one for you, and it's going to be trining your 7th house of partnerships, where Saturn is currently. Now Saturn sitting opposite you in the sky is really looking at you through quite a stern glance. It could really be making you mature. You know, when Saturn's opposite you in the sky, when Saturn's sitting with you, there's maturity, but when it's opposite you, it can sometimes feel a little bit more intense. You're being asked to refine yourself, you're being asked to grow up, especially in terms of your relationships, to make better choices, to make some more serious choices. It's a very serious, somber tone whenever it is going through your 7th house. But there's a harmony with this. For a lot of you, this new moon is an opportunity for you to manifest whatever it is that your heart desires. The 11th house eclipses can typically bring in fated new friendships, fated new groups, fated new connections. They can bring you in alignment with a cause, something you want to give back to society. So whatever it is that's happening for you around this eclipse, Leo, and as the energy continues as an afterthought, just set an intention for yourself that feels like you're dreaming big. What it is that you really want right now, what it is that you would really like to manifest into your life, just put it out into the universe. Just be open to it, be open to life, and be open to new friendships and new connections in particular, Leo, because they might really help you get to where it is that you want to go. Now your tarot card was unusual, I have to say. We have the Tower, and this is this tarot card represents Mars. So Mars is going into your sign, giving you this power, this energy. And when Mars goes through your 1st house, there is a little bit of aggression in terms of your personality. And I think for many of you, when we're starting this new beginning in your 11th house of friendships, you may have found, Leo, that over the last year, your friendships have shifted, your ideas, your ideals, your aspirations, your wishes have all shifted, and it's been clearing the way for you to rebuild at this new moon. You're changing what it is that you want from life. You're changing what it is that you want from society, what it is that you want from your friends, what it is that you want from your social life, what it is that you want to build. You know, Saturn's in the background here asking you to build something solid. And so a lot of you are finding that you've really done you've done a lot with the Tower card here. There's been a crumbling. Some foundations have fallen, especially with the Saturn-Uranus squares. Things have changed within you, especially in terms of your wants and your wishes, and it's okay to let go of wants and wishes at this time to make way for something that you truly want. Oftentimes we can think we know what we want, and then we have it and we realize it's not what we want anymore. And that's just life, you know. It's hard to know what you want unless you've experienced it, right? So don't be afraid to let go of a wish in order to make way for a new one that feels more solid, that you can build upon. Make sure that the wishes and the aspirations you have at this time are ones that you're willing to commit to, and they will surely be yours. With Neptune in the picture squaring off this energy, it's likely that this Tower card is linked to letting go of an intimate relationship in the past, or letting go of letting go or understanding a psychological itch that's been holding you back for quite a while. That could be your Tower moment. But don't forget, Jupiter is there as well, bringing you luck in these areas. So set intentions for what you really want, Leo. And as I said, it'll surely be yours. So that is what I have, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Virgo, welcome to your Gemini segment, the new moon solar eclipse in Gemini, Mercury retrograde. I'm just whizzing through. So Virgo, beautiful new moon solar eclipse for you in terms of your career. It's your midheaven, your aspirations for your career, your reputation, what I have here, status, public image, fame. if you're looking for fame. This solar eclipse is a new beginning for you in terms of manifesting anything you want in terms of career, fame, work, because this is going to be in support with Saturn in your 6th house. Your hard work, the more you serve, the more you give, the more you put into your dreams, the more likely they are to pay off at this time. But in saying that, I don't want to sound like a corporation. I don't want to sound like hustle culture. 6th house is also your health and your well-being. Look after those first and foremost. But it's likely around this eclipse, Virgo, that you're feeling very affected by this. You're feeling very influenced. Your mood is influenced. You might be feeling very pessimistic one moment, very optimistic the next. You might be feeling high in energy, then low in energy. Your ruler is in retrograde. You might not be so sure what you want. And that's where this solar eclipse comes in kind of handy, because we have for you the Magician card, meaning that in terms of manifesting what it is that you want, Virgo, it's likely that you have a lot of skills, a lot of talents, maybe too many, maybe you're good at too many things, that you don't have focus on what it is that you truly want. This solar eclipse is a moment for you to tap in with that intuitive voice, Virgo, that says, career-wise, am I happy where I am? Am I happy where I'm going? Is there something else out there for me? What would I like? What would you like? Because when you think about Gemini energy ruling your career, we have the two twins. There is the knowing what you want, and then there's the knowing what you don't want. And sometimes knowing what you don't want is just as important. Get really excited in your mind about what it is that you would like, even if it's small. Even if it is small, don't discount it being small. It's still important. Visualize what it is that you want. You're more than qualified, you're more than talented, and if you don't have the qualifications or the paper or whatever it is that you need, set an intention around this eclipse that you're going to get it, because there is a little bit of a fast track. I have to say that I've noticed with this new moon solar eclipse, your manifestations could come through really quite quickly. You know, so keep your thoughts clear, keep your thoughts on your goals, your intentions, what it is you want, how you want to be portrayed. Don't feel guilty about it. If you're stepping into a leadership role at this time, Virgo, don't be afraid of it. Some way part of your destiny. A lot of you could be stepping into fame, notoriety around this time, and you know, with Neptune and Pisces in the back, you might be wondering, yeah, but if I take this job, can I still, you know, find partnership, or is this legally a good thing for me? Just reflect on it, just think about it, just set the intention, set the desires. You don't have to do anything drastic. It's very mental energy, so get your head right before you make any decisions. But getting your head right is the most important part, Virgo. You are the Magician. You can manifest something very spectacular around this time. So I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Libra, so this is happening in your 9th house of travel, philosophy, higher wisdom, law, cross community. This is quite an eclipse for you. This could mark a new important period in terms of traveling for you. There could be something exciting that you want to learn. You could be going into higher study, you could be learning something new, you could be searching for the answers in the universe. You could literally be traveling somewhere in the world, or relocating, or you could be taking on a new religious practice, or you could be experiencing life with someone from a different culture. This new moon solar eclipse is going to be in positive aspect with your 5th house of love and romance, meaning that you could be beginning a new relationship if you're single with someone from a different neck of the woods to you. It could be that you are doing a long distance relationship at this time, Libra, and there's some new developments there. But for a lot of you, this is going to be just taking on a new approach to the world. With 9th house energy, it's often where we ask why. It's when we've come through a period of psychological breakthroughs, discoveries, and sort of seeing the higher meaning behind life, the higher meaning behind events, key events that have shaped you to be who you are. And for a lot of you, this takes on a more optimistic approach, and really seeing the wisdom behind the things in your life that have not felt so comfortable. It's sort of where you have experienced adversity, and then you decide to, this is just the background of it really, you decide to branch out into the world and go out of your comfort zone. And I think for a lot of you, that's in terms of love and creativity and passion and fun and the things that you want to do. With Saturn going through there, it can feel a bit restrictive in these areas. Maybe you're not feeling like, you know, now that Jupiter's out of your 5th house, maybe you're not feeling so much fun, you're not feeling all the love, all the pleasure, all those type of things. It could just be that you're taking these things more seriously. But what I have for you with the Queen of Wands here as your tarot card is a new beginning based on adventure, based on wisdom, based on saying yes to more things in life. It's likely around this time you're going to want to say yes to more experiences, to more different perspectives, to different approaches, particularly in things like law. For a lot of you, you are the sign that is very associated with law, and with the 9th house eclipse, you might be beginning a career or a study in this area, or it might be that you're doing a course in this, or if you work in the law, or so many Libras that I know do, if you work in the law, it could be that you're taking on new responsibility. But the Queen of Wands is everything 9th house. It's travel, it's philosophy, it's saying yes to life, saying yes to the adventure, saying yes to love, saying yes to fun, saying yes to pleasure. Now it's sort of jarring off with Neptune being in your 6th house. So it could be that at this time you're feeling a little bit woozy, or a little bit confused about work, or a bit confused about your healthy habits. With Neptune being in the 6th house, sometimes you can find that you rely too much on substances. Sometimes it can be where we find that we are looking for ways to escape in terms of our day-to-day reality. And the way that you can combat this energy, Libra, would be to be saying yes to more adventures, or optimism, or adventure, or excitement, or traveling, for example, is something that's very likely for Libra risings over the next 6 months. And adventures that could be part of your destiny. So that's what I have for you, Libra, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Scorpio, welcome to your new moon solar eclipse in Gemini segment. So Scorpio, this is happening in your 8th house. You're so familiar with the 8th house. It's your psychological breakthroughs, it is intimacy, it is merging, shared resources, and what I have for you here is mystery as well. And we have a solar eclipse here that is positively impacted by Saturn being in your 4th house. It's likely for a lot of you that you could be manifesting the money, the loan, to get a home, to get a property. You could be manifesting the type of relationship you want in order to start a family. It could be that you are going to be merging your soul, finding a new deeper relationship within your relationship. It could be that if you're with someone, because 8th house is usually when you're with somebody, that you move to a deeper level in an existing partnership, or you are financially working with a partner to obtain something in terms of your family, your home, or even in terms of healing the past. You know, the 8th house is our psychological breakthroughs, the 4th house is our past, our patterns, and our upbringing to an extent. So it could be that you're having a phoenix moment with these type of areas, Scorpio, because the 8th house is a phoenix moment. It is in friction with your 5th house of love and romance and pleasure. So it could be that in terms of your feelings, your artistic endeavors, in terms of your romantic endeavors, you are maybe trying to make something so serious, Scorpio, that you are forgetting to have fun. So please don't forget to have fun. You know, life, you can be serious and fun at the same time. You can enjoy serious things. It doesn't have to be so black and white. I know that as Scorpios we think things typically are, but it's about finding fun in the serious. And because Mercury is in retrograde in these areas, the past can look a bit cloudier than it is. So you could be sorting through some messages with Neptune being in Pisces, or some past romances might suddenly pop back up to want your attention, especially if you're single. And at this time, you're getting really very clear about what it is that you truly want with a partnership. So it's likely that if past relationships pop up around this time, Scorpio, it's kind of so that you can see the lesson and break through it, to be honest, in terms of what it is that you truly want, rather than reconnect with anybody. If you're single, this could be a time when you meet someone who's very like-minded. It could be a time you meet another Scorpio. It could be a time that you meet somebody who is very deep like you. So that is something that could happen for you in the next 6 months as well, Scorpio. But really for you, these eclipses as well are focusing on what it is that means the most to you, what matters to you, what you value. Your tarot card for this eclipse was the Star, meaning to keep hope alive, to see the light in the darkness, to follow your true node and lean into this 8th house energy of intimacy and merging and sharing and trusting as well, and also following the mystery. If there's something in your life that you don't quite know in terms of what you want, or what it is that you want to achieve or aspire to, just keep exploring. You don't have to make a decision right now in terms of your big dreams. You don't have to have the big dream in full swing right now, but make a wish nonetheless that you find it. Why don't you wish for that idea? Why don't you wish for that knowledge? Why don't you wish for that feeling and just watch it flow to you? Star card's a beautiful omen if you want to make a wish, Scorpio. Trust me. So that's what I have for you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your new moon solar eclipse in Gemini video. This is still on your 1st and 7th house axis, Sagittarius. So this new moon solar eclipse in Gemini is a time when you could be beginning a new partnership, a new relationship, especially if this is something that's high on your agenda. You might just meet someone around this time who ticks all the boxes, who wants to give you what it is that you need, who wants to give you what it is that you truly require within a partnership. Or it could be that in a dating arrangement, near Mercury retrograde, in a dating arrangement, things get more serious or things get more committed. A lot of Sagittarius risings could be getting married around this time, and it is important for you, Sagittarius, to feel connected within a relationship. In fact, it was interesting because your tarot card was the Six of Pentacles, which is about give and take. You know, it's actually a very richer for poorer card because the merchant in it is giving money to the poor or giving food to the poor, depending on what tarot deck you use. It's I'll look after you whenever you're sick and you look after me whenever I'm sick. You know, this sharing and giving. So it calls into question anytime there is an eclipse season in your 1st and 7th house, the independence and the interdependence, how we connect with another person and how we share our time and our feelings with another person in order to make a partnership. So you're also asking around this time, Sagittarius, if you are getting what you need in a relationship, if you know what you're looking for in a relationship. It's very likely that you could meet somebody in the next 6 months, Sagittarius, who ticks all the boxes or who is someone you could go quite long term with, because this is aspecting Saturn, and Saturn's a very committed planet. And in Aquarius, this is someone you could meet through your neighborhood. You could be set up by a sibling. You could be set up by a community event. You could just meet them socializing. That could be kind of Three of Cups style, where you meet them in a bar. If you're allowed to go near people wherever you are. Or not. But really what this is for you, Sagittarius, is really meeting somebody. It's a partnership energy. It could just be that you're finding yourself over the next few months signing a very important contract. Wouldn't recommend it until July, just because Mercury's retrograde there. It may also be for some Sagittarius, have to say, you could be reuniting with someone from your past. If you have a past relationship you haven't quite gotten over, there could be a reappearance from somebody, but that's not for everyone. It's just to bear that in mind. So that is what I have for you, Sagittarius. Have a beautiful eclipse and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Capricorn, this eclipse is happening for you in your 6th house of wellness, usefulness, the work you do, the routines you have, and it is connected with Saturn in your sector of money, wealth, income, and value. So for you, Capricorn, this 6th house eclipse, with Mercury being retrograde there, it's likely you could have been late for work, you could have had to take time off work, you could have been feeling very out of sorts, you could have been feeling mentally anxious or unwell, or you could have been feeling very confused about what it is that you want to do with your day, do with your time, what products you want to use even could have caused a kafah. You could have been completely overwhelmed by decisions around this time. It's likely you could have been quite busy but feeling like nothing was really moving at all, especially in terms of work and in terms of money. But this is also to do with fitness and the systems you use. So Capricorn, with this new moon eclipse, this is a brand new beginning for you in terms of health, fitness, and your day-to-day routine. Wonderful new moon to start a routine for yourself. You might have to go back and adapt it somewhat in July, because Mercury is in retrograde. You might have to change a few things, but it's still important to start something that makes you feel well, makes you feel better. Because it's connecting to your 2nd house, you have to be very clear on what matters to you and what doesn't in terms of how you spend your time. Saturn is your ruler in your 2nd house, wants you to be very clear about what matters to you financially, what matters to you in terms of time, money, and the resources you have, and how your routine is facilitating that, really. With you, Capricorn, we had the Strength card and the 5 of Wands. If you are going for a job interview at this time, asking for something, or you're competing in something, there's a very good chance that you could do very well, Capricorn, because with the 6th house eclipse, you're more likely to have the determination. I don't know why this reminds me of it, but of Muhammad Ali, or this really strong determination to get your mindset right, your physical strength right, your routine right, and you're just really driven to accomplish a fitness goal, a well-being goal, a work goal, something like this for yourself, Capricorn. Brilliant new start to do it, because you will absolutely demolish the competition. You have the strength, and if you're looking to do something good for yourself around this time, Capricorn, I recommend weight training. The Strength card can indicate weight training and how good it is for your body, how good it is for your hormones as well, provided you're not taking anything that is harmful, but how good it is to actually look after your body and your physical health. So if you want to get into the best shape you've ever been in your life, Capricorn, this is the new moon to set that intention, to get stronger, to get fitter, or just to get healthier. It doesn't have to be an aesthetic thing, but to feel well. And this applies mentally too. Don't get caught up on the competition or what anybody else is doing. You're very much in your own lane and you can do so much. It's likely with Neptune being in your third house that people are saying stuff that just doesn't resonate anyway. So follow your own inner voice, your intuition, and go for gold. That is what I have for you, Capricorn. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Aquarius, this is your solar eclipse new moon video. Aquarius, this is in your 5th house of love, romance, creativity, pleasure, fun, and so you have a new beginning in this area. Now the trickiness is that it is squaring off with Neptune and Pisces in your 2nd house of worth. So it's likely that if you're beginning a new romantic relationship around this time, or a flirtationship or situationship or whatever it is, there may be a question, Aquarius, of how good this is for you in the long run, because you can't see all the parts of the puzzle just yet. Mercury is retrograde here. For a lot of you, you could be reconnecting with an ex or someone you sort of had a romance with or a fling with in the past. It could be you reconnecting with them. Because of Neptune being in your 2nd house, not really aligning with this new moon too well, it could be that you just don't know if they're worth your time, or you don't know if this creative project is worth your time or worth your investment. The only way that you can really know, Aquarius, I guess, is to give it a go. It is going to be trining Saturn in your 1st house, so making yourself a priority is important here. Making sure that the things you choose to do that are fun, that are exciting, really are true to who you are and what you want from yourself long term. But it's likely around this time there could be exciting news. You could be unexpectedly pregnant if you are a female. It could be that you are unexpectedly falling in love, or you are unexpectedly getting a lot of creative inspiration or something at this time, Aquarius, or there could be good news surrounding your children. Now the High Priestess card, which is an interesting one, I have to say, you know, if for you, Aquarius, I would say do trust your intuition and know that whatever it is that you're beginning at this time, there is more to be revealed. So don't put all your eggs in one basket. Not to say that anything's not going to work out, but just keep an open mind and don't get too attached to the outcomes. There is likely to be a part of destiny involved in this though. So that's what I have for you, Aquarius. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Pisces, welcome to your segment on the new moon solar eclipse in Gemini. So Pisces, this is happening in your 4th house of home, family, your roots, your self-care. It also rules children and it rules women. It's likely for a lot of Pisceans at this time that this is a new moon that is beginning a new phase for you in terms of your home life. So it could be that you're moving at this time. It could be that you've decided you want to move in the future. It could be that you want to save for a home, you want to put a deposit down in a home or something like this. It's going to be trining Saturn in your 12th house of healing and transcendence, and also the hidden. So it's likely at this time, Pisces, that when Saturn is in your 12th house, you can manifest things actually quite effortlessly. So if you want to manifest your dream home, make a vision board of it, look for homes online, set the intention. Some of you could literally be moving at this time, and it's likely to be a whole new chapter for you in terms of your home life, Pisces. And this is to do with the long term and what is best for you and what feels really true to your soul, and also what feels safe. It is square with your ruler Neptune in your sign, meaning that in the immediate moment, it may not feel exactly what you want, but there is a point of destiny to it. And with Saturn in the 12th house, you trust in the long-term process. So this could be buying a house and it doesn't look the way you want it to, but you're going to renovate it in future. It could be that you have to downsize in order to save for something better. It could be that you have to move even if you don't want to, but you have a feeling you're meant to, you know, that kind of thing. It could be for some of you as well that you're finding out you're starting a family, you're going to have a family. You could be deciding that, you could be realizing actually with 4th house and 12th house as well, it can be an indicator of pregnancy. So it could be for Pisces that you find out you're expecting a child, or someone in your family is expecting a child, or it could be that you're just realizing that you want something like this. It could also be with the 4th house that you're finding out what makes you feel most secure, Pisces, and you're leaning into it. Your tarot card was the World card, meaning some of you could be moving for sure, and some of you are wrapping up a cycle with this particular solar eclipse in terms of what your home life is. And with Saturn involved, it's also likely that some of you have done a great degree of healing your inner world, and you've overcome something karmic that could possibly be generational. It could be that a lot of you have committed to healing ancestral karma or recovering from something that happened to you in the past, and this is giving you a well done, and you're overcoming this and you're blossoming. This is a successful completion, which is interesting for a new moon solar eclipse. This is a whole new cycle that's going to be very successful for you, Pisces, because that we've just had a lunar eclipse in Sagittarius. It could be there's some career success on the horizon for you as well. So that is what I have for you, Pisces. Have a beautiful eclipse and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.